So actually I'm a Hindu, so my whole belief is in that there are many gods. There is one God, but there are different forms of him. The thing is that I have been taught, and I am a Hindu, so I always follow that religion. I have read few verses of Bible, but never actually pursued or known more about it.
I was raised Catholic, but kind of stopped after like high school because I went off to college. I guess I don't go because I have work in school pretty much, and can't really make time for that.
Well, basically, I never grew up religious of any sort or spiritual, or are you specifically talking about the Christian faith? Yeah. Okay, so I didn't grow up with Christian faith or any of its other Abrahamic religions, not Judaism, not Islam, because I think those are all equal as Abrahamic religions. But yeah, I never grew up, my parents didn't teach me. It's basically just taught morals, you know, be kind to others, don't steal. Basic things that kind of, you know, keep you a good person. People like to interact with you. You're a good person for society. And
I've been through different kind of like religious beliefs. Like I went through Protestant Christianity, I went through Catholics, I went through Jehovah's Witness, I also went through evangelicalists throughout my years, and it's been quite fascinating. But now I kind of just join whatever just to get some involvement. I want to hear all kinds of sides of religion. Like maybe next I want to try to go for Buddhism, or even, I don't know, try to check out the Jewish traditions. I don't know, it's always fascinating, especially if like someone like me who's a history major. I want to see how can history fit into this, but when I had my experiences, it was all fun.
So as Muslims, we believe that God is above human qualities. We don't believe that God can have a son, God can have children. So when we say that God has a son, we limit God by giving him human-like qualities. But as Muslims, we believe that God is above all of that.
So, as well as Ali, I'm also a Muslim. So I would say that we do believe in Jesus, and I do believe in his teachings. I just believe that modern day Christianity has kind of corrupted the teaching of Jesus, and it's gotten lost in translation over time. Not to the fault of Jesus the prophet himself, but due to the fault of men and language changing and times changing. And yeah, I just don't think the modern day Bible is the same teachings as what Jesus preached back in the day.
Maybe when I was like younger, like in high school, maybe I was like thinking about that, but nowadays I'm like more focused on getting by with like school pretty much. Why focus on like something out in the future, just not really not in the future, more like it's not immediate to what I think I need. Maybe in the long run I'll go back to religion, maybe not.
I don't know, I'm just religious. I base it on other things. I base it on my worldview is the politics I take in, you know, the relationships I have with others. You know, it's my sense of community. Science is a part of it. It's all these other things that are fill that kind of, that void that is filled with Jesus or religion with a lot of other people. So it's like, I feel very fulfilled. I encourage others to find their own way of filling that in whatever is non-harmful to others and, you know, is good for them and for other people. So, you know, whatever that is.
I don't know what I believe in now. I mean, maybe there's something up there. I'm not sure. I float around to see what other people think. Yeah, I'm still exploring. I'm not settled on one spot, but I'm more just, as I said, floating around.
From childhood I was so it is like in India, the religion that you follow it is given to you from your family. So from the birth I have been reading about the Hindu scriptures and all those things. But I had few Christian and Muslim friends, so I love to get their perspective. So that is why I talked about a few things about them, because I believe in God. So I was like, let's get their perspective, what's their thinking. So yeah, so that is how I got to know about Jesus and a few more things about Bible. Yeah, India is very diverse. Yes.
Ever since I was a kid, I couldn't understand how God could be like a human or could be similar to a human being. It's something that didn't really like sit right with me, even before knowing what Christianity was. Yeah, because I grew up in the Middle East, that's where I grew up. But yeah, that is like something that just didn't really make sense to me. Yeah.
So in the Muslim theology, we believe in the same belief as that Jesus is the Messiah, that he's going to come back and defeat the Antichrist on the Day of Judgment. We believe that he is one of the greatest prophets, second only to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We believe like everything else about Jesus except for the fact that he's God.
I was always like just suspicious about like this man walked on water. I'm like, can you walk on water? Or this man died and came back a couple days later. Is that even possible? Like all these stories about one person doing all these miracles.
I believe there is one single form of, you can say, God, and people have just divided into different religion. So it might be, for me, I am Hindu, I follow Hinduism. For different people, for Christian, they follow Christianity, and so same goes on. So people have just divided one form of God into different types.
Something that never really made sense to me was the Trinity, and I looked into it because I was researching every religion before I converted. I found out that the Trinity wasn't always the teachings of the Christian church, right? And that came into play somewhere in the Roman Catholic Church with the Nicene Creed and all these different things that came into conjunction, which like wrote down the Trinity, the triune God as the Christian God. But at the same time, what we would call heresy now was just Orthodox teaching like a couple of hundred years ago. So who are we to say what happened and what didn't? I don't think anyone really can tell.
It's just that I don't need it. You know, I've never felt the draw to it. I've never felt the need to go to it.
When I went to church, there were some people who like really made it like a thing to go there like daily. And then there are other people, there's a nickname for them, they're called like CEOs. So it means like Christmas and Easter only. So they only show up for those two events. And you go to church, you notice it's more packed on those 2 days.
I don't really know, because all of the things that I would have troubles in my life with, like a death of a family member or financial troubles, or I need a sense of community. Like a lot of people use church, you know, they go to church to find community and things like that. All of my psychological needs are fulfilled in other means. If one of them happened to fail, I think this happens with some people who go to religion, they have other things don't work for them, and so that is the path that they do take. So until all those keep working, I think I'll keep doing what I'm doing.